If everyone can please silence their cell phones. Hello. To begin, I would like to thank Nadia Mia for the idea of today's walkout, as well as Carissa Garbarini and Casey Krass for organizing everything before me. Today, March 14th, 2018, marks day number 71 of 365. Today marks exactly 1 month since the Stoneman Douglas High School massacre in Parkland, Florida on February 14th. Yet another tragic event at yet another school. We're gathered here this morning to remember, honor, and respect the 17 lives lost in Stoneman Douglas High School, along with those lost in the 18 school shootings so far this year, 7 of which happened before Parkland, and 11 occurred just in the last month. Law enforcement has done a good job at thwarting attacks, but the number of daily threats to schools has increased up to 64 to 98 threats a day since Parkland. I want to take this time to emphasize the importance of action and promote the precautions that communities all around us need to take. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Ian Galero, and I'm a senior here at Hudson High School. My peers and I have spent a lot of time discussing the issues at hand, and we've heard a number of arguments, both for and against gun control. And regardless of what side of the issue may be on, the arguing hasn't got anything done. I, along with many of us here, call for a shift in our local and national communities from these unproductive arguments to productive compromises. On the local level, we need to focus on an overall improvement of our security protocols in our school system. Let's make sure we know who's entering and exiting the building at all times. On the national level, let's start taking a proactive role rather than a reactive one. What can we do to prevent these tragedies in the future? Our schools clearly aren't safe, and we clearly aren't doing enough to make them safe, given the number of school shootings less than 3 months in 2018. My own best friend should not have to sit in the back near the closest exit because she fears her life is at risk. Stop waiting for someone else to make the change you want to see. To be clear, my goal is to express the feelings of many of the people that stand before me and to not make a political stand on behalf of my school. Something needs to be done, and I don't think politics are doing it. So now, we stand here for 17 minutes, 1 minute for each life lost on that tragic day. We continue to promise that this will be the last time. Let's please finally make this the last time. Thank you.
These are the 17 victims of the Parkland shooting on February 14th, 2018. Alyssa Al-Hadef was a 14-year-old Jewish student who played soccer and was described as beautiful, smart, talented, successful, and awesome by her mother. Scott Weigel was a 35-year-old geography teacher who was killed as he tried to usher students back into his classroom. Martin Duke Anguiano, 14, was described as a very funny kid, outgoing, and sometimes really quiet. He was sweet and caring and loved by all his family and by his brother. He was a member of the school's junior ROTC program. The Army is recognizing him with the Medal of Heroism. Nicholas Dworak was a 17-year-old senior who was recruited by the University of Indianapolis for swimming, where he would have been an incoming freshman in the fall. Aaron Face, a 37-year-old assistant football coach, was killed when he threw himself in front of students to protect them from oncoming bullets. Jane Gutenberg was 14 when she was killed. She leaves behind a mother, father, and brother. Chris Hickson, 49, was the school's athletic director who served in Iraq and was described as an awesome husband, father, and American who thought of each student as his own kid. He leaves behind a wife and son. Luke Hoyer, 15, was described by his cousin as an amazing individual, always happy, always smiling. His smile was contagious, and so was his laugh. 14-year-old Carol Lochran danced at the Drake School of Irish Dance in South Florida. The dance studio said she was a beautiful soul and always had a smile on her face. Gina Montolato, 14, was a member of the Winter Guard in the school's marching band and described as the sweetest soul ever. Joaquin Oliver, 17, was born in Venezuela and moved to the United States when he was 3 and became a naturalized citizen in January of last year. His interests were football, basketball, the Venezuelan national soccer team, urban graffiti, and hip-hop. Elena Petty was 14 years old when she was killed. Her family described her as vibrant and determined. She was a member of the Helping Hands program of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as well as the Junior ROT Senior School, and had volunteered after Hurricane Irma hit Florida. The Army is also recognizing her with the Medal of Heroism. Meadow Pollock was 18 and had been accepted at Lynn University in Boca Raton. Helena Ramsey, 17, was described as smart, kind-hearted, and thoughtful person. She was deeply loved and loved others even more so. Alex Schachter participated in the school marching band where he played baritone and orchestra where he played trombone. He was 14 years old. Carmen Schentrup, 16, was a National Merit Scholar semifinalist. Peter Wang, 15, was a member of the Junior ROTC program. He was killed while holding a door open to let fellow classmates get to safety. The Army is recognizing him with the Medal of Heroism. He was also posthumously admitted to the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, where he dreamed of going.
At this time, I would like to read a poem dedicated to the victims of the school shootings. Isn't death so sneaky? Isn't death so cruel? Sure, it comes after life, but over life it has rule. It could be lurking around the corner, and you'd never know. You would hear its footsteps, but it would never show. You know what's worse, though? Sensing that any minute you're going to die, knowing you can't prevent it, no matter how hard you try. You know what's worse, though? Knowing you're leaving people behind, knowing they'll search for you, that they won't find. You know what's worse, though? Knowing you can't ever come back, knowing you were leaving, but you missed your chance to pack. Missed the chance to pack all the love in your heart, missed the chance to pack all the moments in your memory, missed the chance to pack all the smiles in your vision, missed the chance to pack their reason and their story. You know what's worse, though? The tears that fall for you, the tears they shed, because all along their love was true. You know what's worse, though? Knowing you won't be returning home today, wanting so badly not to leave forever, but knowing you don't have a choice to stay. Death is not something that we have control over, but gun violence is. Please say something before it's too late. Your voice has the power.
At this time, we will now have a moment of silence for 17 seconds to remember the 17 lives lost in Parkland, Florida. Thank you.
Good morning, fellow students. My name is Noshin Tasnim, and I'm the president of the freshman class. We all must be aware of what happened a month prior from today and about all the innocent lives that were lost due to a very unfortunate event. Today, we are here joined together to commemorate the victims of the school shooting in Parkland, Florida. We must not let this tragedy be swept under the rug by our nation like similar previous events have been. We cannot treat the 17 lives lost as a statistic that we forget about until the next shooting occurs. Instead, we must take a stand to voice our opinions and thoughts and to take action. When I come to school every morning, I should be worrying about typical teenage things, like keeping my grades up and thinking about college. I should not have to worry about if I'll be able to go home to my family at the end of the day or not. Continuing, we need to start to put our school safety into our own hands. As we all know, the Parkland shooter was described as a person who grew up mentally ill and without any friends. He was also bullied by the people around him, and survivors say that this could have been a factor leading up to his horrible decision of shooting up Stoneman Douglas High School. We should take this as an example and start to become more friendly with the kids at our school who may seem to need a lending hand. Anyone could be thinking about committing violent acts towards others, and our kindness could steer them off into the right direction. Our presence and company will make them happier. It will show them that they are not alone and that they have somebody. So next time you see someone sitting alone at lunch or by themselves during class, invite them over to you and create a sense of belonging for them, because these devastating shootings cannot continue any longer, and if we want to see change happen, we have to take the first step and be the change. Thank you.
My name is Sadiq Ahmed. Thank you everyone for taking a part in this national movement. I won't take too much of your time. There's something that I see on social media very often, and that is, it's 2018. Why is there still racism? It's 2018. Why is there still xenophobia and homophobia? Why is there still school shootings? The answer is clear. Just because time has changed doesn't mean that we have. It doesn't matter if it's 2018 or 2030. It doesn't change if we don't change. If we do not change our actions and raise our voices, then history will repeat itself over and over again. Let's take the time to talk to those who are neglected, to understand the situations, and create a bond within each other. We have our differences, but our similarities are far greater. At the end of the day, we are family, like it or not, and families do not hurt each other. Families do not turn their backs on one another. Families support each other, they protect, and most importantly, families love each other. Let's find that love and put our differences behind us and unite against all odds. Together, let's bring change to our communities, to our schools, and to our lives, so that something that happened in Parkland does not happen in Hudson or anywhere else. Thank you very much for your time.
Hi, hello. My name is Pierre June, and I am a sophomore at Hudson High School. I'm the class president of the sophomore class at Hudson High School. We are gathered here this morning to raise awareness of the tragic school shooting that took place. Today marks 1 month since that dreadful day. Today I stand in front of you not to support a side in how we should solve this complex issue, but to call for one thing: unity. In a time where our country is at a crossroads and our political climate seems to be very polarized, this is something we desperately need. We are now living in a time where people have stopped talking to close friends and even family just because they support a certain politician or party. Now every time someone tries to have a discussion or debate, it ends up in people yelling at each other and then becoming frustrated, ultimately moving miles away from any real solutions. I say this to ask of everyone that hears this to do your part in coming together. Put aside all your inhibitions and challenge yourself to be one more positive force in helping to solve the urgent problem of safety in our schools. At the end of the day, most of us know someone that goes to school or is working in one. This speaks to the very fact that this is not a you or me problem, but an us problem. Whether we'd like to admit it or not, school safety is a problem that has become a nightmare in the majority of our lives much faster than we think. To wrap up, I would like to remind us of the national motto of the United States, which says, E pluribus unum, or out of one many. So let's do our part, and as a community, and making this motto more true every day as human beings, let's not be divided on an issue that requires us to be unified on. Let's do our part to not let the lives lost in Parkland be lost in vain. As the Haitian coat of arms motto says, in unity there is strength. In divided we fall, united we stand. So let's do our part, and please make your effort to be the one catalyst of change in this school. Never again. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us today and remembering the 17 lives lost on February 14th. To the faculty, staff, and students of the Hudson City School District, until something is done, we must keep each other safe. If you see something suspicious or out of the ordinary, don't brush it off as nothing. Say something. Thank you. If now the high school students can leave throughout the event entrance and proceed to your fourth period classes. And junior high to the other side. Thank you.